All right, here's your official good morning. Here's your waiver. Today we are going to use space sometimes in different ways. So just make sure you have a little space all around your mat. A sturdy chair with a seat is helpful for sure. I'll be using the bar, but you can mirror what I'm doing with your chair. And then we're just going to use hand weights and a slider. So a plate, a little washcloth, anything that slides across whatever floor you're on. So make sure you have those. And we'll get started. So we're going to start standing today. If you have music that you like, please feel free to put it on. I got a lot of props today. Sometimes I have everything out today, just the plate and the weights. Okay, so up to standing. Again, make sure you have a little space. You don't need your chair or your bar at this point. And find your feet. Make sure they're right under your hips. Not super wide. None of you have super wide hips. So just land them and feel into the four corners of the feet. Let's put our hands on our hips and sort of slowly shift the weight around from each corner. Just 2 or 3 times, and then we'll shift the direction. And this is just to really have some awareness of the feet. As you do this, draw your kneecaps up, draw your belly in. Let your tail feel long behind you. Gorgeous. From here, we're going to inhale, breathe up and gaze up. And then we'll pull the hands through heart center and sit to a chair. Bring your hands to your thighs. Push into your legs so that your legs get a little bit of a break. And then draw the sitting bones toward one another in the back here. Belly lifts away from the thighs. And then take the hands and press them out and back, drawing the shoulders to the spine. Your low back should feel long. The weight should feel more in your heels than your toes. Gorgeous. I'm going to turn on a little angle so you can see me for the next thing. Now we're going to put all the weight into the left foot and step the right leg back and turn it open. And we'll cartwheel the arms up into a warrior two. Make sure your shoulders are drawing down your back. Make sure this front knee is opening and the glutes are engaged. From here, we're going to flow a little bit. So we're going to inhale, turn the palm up, extend the front knee, reverse triangle. Exhale, press down into warrior two. Inhale, breathe up and back. Exhale, press down. 2 more. Inhale, really extend that front leg and just stretch your way into the spine. 1 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Take your hands through heart center and turn your toes so that you're in a little second position. From here, we're going to put the hands on the thighs and then alternately drop the shoulder and twist the spine a little bit. So continue to breathe. Keep your hips nice and stable and just move the ribs around and open the backs of the shoulders. That's it, guys. Don't forget to breathe. 1 more time. Beautiful. Now we're going to pivot that left foot to the back edge of the mat and spin up into warrior two on the other side, lifting the spine long so that the tail hangs down like a pendulum. Inhale, extend the front knee and tip it back. Exhale, press down, bending into the knee, not rolling in. Inhale, exhale. Gorgeous. 2 more times. Inhale. Last one. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. This time, turn the toes to face the same direction as the heels. Bend your knees a little and come down to a flat back stretch. You can use the thighs or the floor. Reach your tail away from the tips of your ears and feel into your hamstrings. Just notice how they're doing this morning. 1 more breath. And then we're going to walk the hands forward and come to table. Here we are. So from here, set up well, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Feel sort of broad across your back and your collarbones simultaneously. Inhale here. Just tip your tail up behind you a little bit. Just think about the bottom of the spine. And then exhale, draw it down between the legs. So not a full cat and cow, just moving through the pelvis. Inhaling back, exhaling in and down. 1 more time, inhaling up. Exhale, draw down. And then find find your neutral. It should feel supported here. Breathe the weight into your right leg and then start circling the left 3 times in each direction, hanging on with the obliques on the opposite side. Gorgeous. And then press that foot back, tuck the toe and push into the heel. Inhale here. And then lift the toe away from the body as you gaze up through the eyebrows. Exhale, curl your knee to your nose. Inhale, extend the spine. 2 more times. So now it's bigger in the spine. Last one. And return the knee down. Beautiful. Find that neutral again. Keep the hips sort of level as you start circling on the right side. 3 times in each direction. Warming up the hips, getting synovial fluid moving. And then tuck the toes, push back into the heel. Gorgeous. Now this time, really stretch the leg behind you as you lift up. So you find extension, but it's really long. Exhale, curling around your sternum. Inhale, lengthen and lift. 2 more times, round it on your exhale. Lift it up on your inhale. Last time, and up. Beautiful. Come on down, split your knees apart and sit back into child's pose. Stretch those arms out ahead of you. Relax your head. Beautiful. One more breath in here. And then take your left arm and thread it through under your right and turn a little. Oh, hi, peekaboo. Rest your head between your arms and open up the back of the shoulder. And then release that arm long. Same thing, other side. So stretch through, turn your heart, relax your neck. Breathe into the hips and the shoulders. One more big breath here. Come back to center and unravel your way all the way down to the mat. Pent your fingers behind you by your hips. Lengthen your toes away from you. Relax your glutes, but draw your tail long and lift your belly. Inhale, stretch the collarbones up as you float the heart off the mat, and then exhale, lengthen the spine back down. Let's keep this work sort of at the bra line, so feel the shoulders gather to the spine, and exhale, lengthen down. Just 2 more times. Inhale, really roll the shoulders, open the heart, and lower. 1 more time, open it up, and lower down. Let's bring the hands under the chin or the forehead for a little shelf. Bend your knees and just windshield wiper them side to side, twisting the waist, relaxing the sacrum. Just once or twice more to each side. Beautiful. And then reach those legs long. Okay, hands under shoulders. Come on up and back. Okay, so we're going to do some plank work. Make sure you have space again around you because it's going to be slightly different than maybe what you're used to. So we'll start in table. Again, friendly old table. And we're going to press the tops of the feet down into the mat. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can tuck under. And then we're going to hug the belly up and float the knees off the mat. Really trying to maintain that table shape. Good. Now maybe this is really challenging for you. Maybe it's a piece of pie, but draw the belly up and elongate that tail. One more breath. Drop it down, tuck the toes. Same thing, but we'll add on if you're able. Both those knees as low to the ground. And then we're going to tap opposite shoulders. So trying not to really rock and roll much. Sort of keeping things still. Last 4 after this. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, tip your tail up and come up and back to downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Pedal those feet a little bit. We're going to add on. So make sure your weight is up and back by the tail. Inhale, we'll breathe the right leg up in the air. Now we're going to pull the knee into the chest and thread the foot through and come up to side plank. Hold. Or 4. So that right foot crosses in front of the left. 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Slow control back to the mat. That foot comes up and back. Bring it down. Pedal it out. Get the weight away from your wrists. Up into your tail. Left leg stretches up. Inhale here. Exhale, pull the knee in toward the chest and bring the foot through. Come to the sides of the foot. Come up for side plank. Hold here. For 4, Lift under your ribs for 3. Here's 2. Last one. Slowly come back to center. Reach the leg up and behind you. Come on down. Knees down. Come to the elbows. Walk your legs back behind you to full plank. Little knee taps, double time to each side. So tap right, tap left. 1, 2, 1, 2. Almost there. Pull the knees in toward your chest. 4, 3, 2. Last one. And knees down. Release. Oh, stretch. Good job. All right. Ooh, fun times. Abs and hips on the mat. Okay. Now, from here, we can do this on the elbows if your wrists are a little cranky. We're going to warm up the glutes and warm up the abs. So let's sit first. Let's do some abs first. So here we are, sitting nice and tall, finding the sitting bones, lifting the heart. On the exhale, we'll tuck the tail under and round that low back to keep the chest proud. And then we're going to reach the right arm up and the left arm down by the hips. Inhale and exhale as you switch. Inhale, exhale. Good. So you should feel sort of light in your feet. You should feel really active in the belly. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, make little ballerina arms. Squeeze the shoulders to the spine and float the fingers back together. Exhale, and this is really to increase the abdominal load. So exhale, draw. Inhale in for 4. You got this. 3. No tension in the hips or the neck for 2. Last one. And release. Flip on over. Find that table. All right, we're going to get into the glutes just a little bit here. So we're going to take the right leg up and turn it out. We're going to bring it down to tap the ankles together and then lift up. So inhale down, exhale up. And all the work is coming from right here, the gluteal system. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. Squeeze your glutes as you lift. For 3, for 2, last one. Now without arching your low back, keep it up and pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Take that same leg, kick it out to the side, tap the knee in. Kick it out, tap it in. Exhale. Feel the leg extend and the glutes and quads kick in. Last 3. And 2. Last one. And then we'll do the other side. So opposite leg comes up and turns out. We bring the leg down, the ankles meet, and we lift up. Inhale down, exhale up. Gorgeous. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. For 3. Good in 2. Last one. Hold it up. Squeeze into the glutes. Tiny pulses up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Lift your belly. Kick it out. Tap it in. Kick it out. Extend that leg. Breathe. Last 4 and 3, 2. Last one. And release. Gorgeous job. Stretch it out. And then we're going to finally stand. Can you believe it? All right. So we're going to use the back of your chair. You might want to angle it so it faces me so it's easy for you to see. We're going to come into a little bit of a diagonal. You could use the top of your chair or the seat for that matter. We're going to warm the joints up from the ground up. So shoulders back and down, belly engaged, thighs lifted, and we're just going to lift up and down with wide feet. Nice and parallel. Here we go. Up and down, up, down. Breathe through it. Keep your neck long, your ears right over your shoulders. And keep drawing the kneecaps up so the quads are involved as the calves elongate. Last 3 and 2. Last one, now a little faster. Up and down, up and down. Or 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release those calves. Come to stand. This time you're going to have the bar on the side of you if you need to. Parallel legs again. We're going to run with a double pulse. So it's run, 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 run. Yes. And if you notice, I'm not sticking my hips way out to the side. Everything's sort of very up and down. Now, speaking of up and down, take that arm, pull it up and down. Inhale, exhale. Try not to lose the double pulse. Feel evenly across the pads of your feet. For 4, 3, 2. Last one, keep the arm overhead. Bring the heels together and lower them down. Little side bends and lifts. All through the ribs. So I'm not moving my hips. And I'm not really moving my shoulders. Just along for the ride. Last 2. Last 1. Now we stand tall. We stretch that arm across the chest. We inhale to open the ribs. Exhale to close them. So we're rotating. Squeezing the inner thighs together. For 3. And 2. Last 1. Awesome. We're going to come to parallel again for the other side. So I'm just going to do my other side. You can turn around if you want. So here we go. Little double pulse runs. Now use this to feel where you're at, how grounded you are today. And lift that low belly up. Up with the arm and down. So you should be on the other side now. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. For 4 and 3, 2. Last 1. Hold it up. Bring the heels together. Lower down. Side bend and lift. Inhale and exhale. So it's all about these ribs opening and fanning out as we bend laterally. For 3 and 2. Don't forget to breathe. Last 1. Now take that arm, stretch it across your bar or your chest. Inhale to open, exhale to close. And your inner thighs really help you here. You should feel like your heels are tethered to your navel. Last 3 and 2. Last 1 and release. Just shake everything out. Grab water if you need it. Now we're going to get into the legs a bit. Yes. So the calves should be warm. The ankle joints and knee joints and hip joints should be a bit warmed up. Now we're going to really try to get into the muscles, especially of the quadriceps, little glutes, little calves as well. So start at parallel, just a light hand on the bar. The arms are going to relax for this series. Okay, so hand on hip. All right, we'll start with nice and parallel lifts, toes and heels on the same line. Up, down, up, down, up, down. One more time. Then we lift and we bend the knees and we slide down to a little chair. Tuck your tail under and release it long behind you. And then find your neutral, tail straight down. And pulse, like you're trying to kiss your tail to your heels. Draw those kneecaps up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. No tension in the upper body, right? We need a little connectivity in the belly and a lot of lift in the knees so that they don't go in or out. Squeeze your glutes toward one another. And then your knees will stay stable. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up, tap it down. Now we're going to turn out from the hips. Heels will come together, toes apart. Squeeze everything up away from the floor and lift. 2, 3, 4. Now hold it up. Bring your heels together and let your knees come wide over the toes as you slide to plie. Tuck your tail, release it behind you. Find neutral. Squeeze in. And circle the pelvis. You're drawing circles here. Yes. And we're asking a lot of the thighs. After 5 circles, you're going to pause. Keep squeezing those heels together. Take your circles the other way. Light hand on the bar or chair. 4, 5. Stay here. Tiny pulses. Tail down, heels up. Tail trying to kiss those heels. For 5, for 4, for 3. I know it's a lot. For 2. And 1, lift up, release, step to second. So heels at least as wide as your shoulders. Lift away from the floor 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it up. Slide down that wall. Knees come over the toes. Tail straight down. So tuck if you need to. Release behind you and hold. Tiny pulses. This time the tail's trying to kiss the ground for 5, or 4, or 3, or 2. You got this. Hold it down. Now squeeze the knees back and open. Squeeze your glutes together. Push the knees back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. Drop and lift those heels. Roll through the feet. For 5, for 4, for 3. You've got it. 2. Last one. Land the heels and lift. Beautiful job. Let's stretch out the calves by turning toward the chair, pushing down on the top, and reaching the back heel behind us. And then maybe standing and catching the foot for a quadricep stretch. Open your shoulder. Marry your inner thighs together. Present the hip forward. One more breath. And switch. Step that other foot back till the heel lands. Lean forward away from the heel. Legs should be warm now. Push the floor away. Grab the foot in hand. Inner thighs connect. After this, we're going to grab our weights. Get into the upper body a little bit. All right, beautiful. Water if you need it. And we'll grab weights. Okay. I actually have 3s today because this song is a long one. And I don't want you to take all the tension into your neck. I want you to keep the shoulders engaged, work from your mid-back. If you need breaks, if you start to feel tension creeping up the top of the shoulder and into the neck, take breaks, especially if you have heavier weights. Okay. So for me, I'm going to stand in first position. This helps me keep my inner thighs alive and my tail long. My low back is not arching. All right, are we ready? So we're going to, as though we have wings, the arms up from the back. So it's not going to be like this, losing the neck. We're going to grow from those lats. Gorgeous. We're going to start on the left-hand side. So keep stretching the right hand. Take the left and take your temperature and reach back out. So the palm turns forward as you come to tap the back of your hand to your head. Exhale here, inhale here, exhale here. Now, if your other arm really can't sustain this, just bring it down to the hip and work here. Last 2. Last one. Now we're going to take the same arm and turn the shoulder. So it's not an elbow turn, it's a shoulder turn. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the weights down by your hips, palms back, squeeze shoulders to spine. Little pulses, it's from the hips and back. Should feel like chest expansion. Little exhales here. For 5, for 4, for 3, 2. You got it. Last one. Now we're going to come up with the same intention with the wings and work the right arm. We're going to take the temperature and stretch. Now listen, your left arm already worked, just holding the weight. So it worked moving. Now it's holding the weight and it's like, what? So listen to your body. If you need a break, take a break. One more time after this. Now we take that arm out. We turn and we stretch. So make sure it's from your shoulder, not your elbow. For 3, this is harder for me. I have less mobility on this side. For 2, last one, bring it down. Press back again from the hips. Draw shoulders to spine. Feel all the activity of the muscles around the scapula as they draw together. Small but intentional. You got this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to try to sweep it up again. Here we go. We're going to push forward. Push. It's like the hands are magnetic and they want to come together, but you feel the shoulders moving front to back on the back of the body. For 4, for 3, for 2. Flip one arm, switch. Flip, switch. Not too high, just shoulder height, switch. Yes. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. That's a lot of work. Good, beautiful. Hug your elbows into your ribs. Hold on in that right hand and curl on the left. So this should feel like it's coming up into the shoulders. right? Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, other side. Good. Don't let the weight drag you down. Stay nice and tall in your posture. 8, 7, 6, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we alternate. Good. Last set here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous release. All right, beautiful. So we have an opportunity now here to use one weight for crunches, for side crunches particularly. If that's not right for you, put the weight down. It's just fine without. Okay, so we're going to take the weight and bring it on top of the left shoulder. We're going to stand a little V with like a little, just a little hand on the bar to work for. So we'll take that leg out to the side a little. We'll side bend over toward the chair, and then we'll lift up and lower down. So I was working through my neck a little too much there. All this work should be in your waist here, right? So don't let your leg get behind you. The standing leg, you might want to soften around the knee just a little bit, especially if you feel any of this work in the low back. That's it. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the weight to your hip. Turn that same leg out and pulse it up and down. Squeeze from the glutes. It's not tremendously fast. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to dangle that weight, and this time we'll curl the spine in. So we're curling knee toward nose. And again, your weight could be here. So if your arms worked a lot in the last song, what it should look like is curling and standing. So we're changing the angle of the spine, flexion to neutral. Last 4 and 3, you got this. 2 and 1, shake it out. Beautiful. And we're going to do the other side. I bet I can do it just balancing. We'll see, huh? So little V, light hand on the bar, weight on shoulder if you want it. You're going to start toward the bar and then lift. I'm going to put my hand on my hip instead of that fake bar. That's it. So I'm feeling a lot happening in the ribs, side to side. My head's along for the ride. For 4 and 3, again, softness in the standing leg. Working leg does not get behind you. Last 1. Turn that leg out. Pulse up from the glutes. So not in the front of the hip. We have a little turn out to accommodate. For 4 and 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Now dangle that weight if you want as you curl in and lift up. Or maybe you keep the weight on the shoulder. Round the spine, long spine. For 4, 3, 2. Last 1. Release and shake it out. Maybe round over your legs for a moment. Okay, we're going to use our slider now. So I know people have a love-hate relationship with sliders, especially here in the studio where the floor can kind of stick a little. If you're on a carpet or hardwood, you're probably going to enjoy the slider more. All right, so we want a little chair near us here. We're going to be turned out once more. And we're going to bend into that standing leg. The outside leg, the left leg for me right now, is on that plate. So we're going to start by sweeping it from the heel forward. So I'm not going so far behind me that things turn. I'm keeping my hips shining forward and using a light touch on the plate or the slider. And I'm trying to fire up the glutes. Now, what you might find is that the standing leg that's supporting you is going to do a lot of work. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Then we're going to add a tip. So it's tip, find the plate, sweep forward and back. Tip and stand, sweep, land. Tip, stand, sweep, land. If you lose your plate or your slider, don't worry, just keep going. 3, sweep. 2, sweep. Last 1, sweep. Now we're going to come behind the chair, light touch on top, plate is under the same foot for lunges. So we're going to slide back and bend both knees and pull in and stand. So in, exhale. Right hand on our chair. You really want to make sure you bend that back knee so that your spine can stay upright. For 4 and 3. 2, don't let the leg cross behind the other leg. Last one. Now come back and hold it down. Light on that foot. Pull in and out. If you're using the top of the chair, push down into the chair. Squeeze the glutes of the standing leg for 4. Good. For 3. For 2. And stand tall. We'll switch sides. Staying here. This for the lunge series first. Inhale to prepare. Slide back. Exhale, stand. Bend both knees. Keep that facing your chest. Slide the glutes of this front leg. Helps keep the knees stable and safe. Bend that back leg. Keep your spine nice and lifted. Stays lifted. For 3. And 2. Light on that plate. Here's 1. Now hold it down. Pull in and out. Keep your pelvis nice and level. 5. For 4. For 3. 2. And 1. We'll turn right to the other side. Little bend as we sweep that plate forward and then to the hip. You have to turn, keeping the leg long. 5. For 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Now we add that tip, stand, sweep, land. Tip, stand. See, I lost my plate. I'm going to keep going. Tip, stand, sweep, land. Tip, stand. Just 2 more. Tip and stand, sweep, land. Last one. And done. Good job. Okay. This is our last standing song, and then we're going to finish with some mat work as well as stretches. So little V might just want something to touch to help you balance. We're going to start with tendu. So tendus are about brushing the floor. We're going to squeeze the inner thighs to start, and then the outside leg is going to brush forward through the toe, sweep in through the heel. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Don't come behind that foot. We're just returning heels to heel. Brush out, brush in. For 4, for 3, for 2. Now we're going to take it front and back. So heel to toe, toe to heel. Heel to toe, toe to heel. Pull. Don't twist. Pull that inner thigh. Find your glutes in the back. Yes. Now in a moment here, we're going to add bending of the knees. So it's going to get a little more plyometric or a little bigger in intensity. But you could always return to this. So bend and tap, bend and tap. The leg comes forward and back. Front, back, front, back. And we're trying to curtsy here. Trying to keep the spine long. 4, for 3, for 2. Last one. Now we angle in a little. We're going to pull that knee toward the elbow and try not to tap it on the floor. Yes. So a lot of work in the standing leg. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little runs just to transition to that other side. Gorgeous. So I'll try it standing for you without the bar. You might want to switch to the other side. Tandu's on the opposite leg. So sweep out, pull in, out and in. Inhale and exhale. Remember, not behind the other heel. It's like the heels are little magnets that want to click. For 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take it front, back. So it's like we're pulling to the side. Again, the hips don't swivel around. Your floor might slide a little better than mine. So you would have a hand here if you needed it. Now we're going to bend and tap. Bend, tap, bend, tap, bend, tap. And I'm going to turn so you can see me. Bend and tap. Bend and tap. Little curtsies. 4, 3, 2. Ready for those knees in. So turn. We'll take the knee to the elbow, stretching behind and down. For 8, 7, unroll those mats. All right, so now we're heading down to the mat where we'll stay for the rest of class. We're gonna start with some triceps. So you're gonna want your weights near you. That's all you really need. We'll use the chair to stretch in a little bit. All right, we're gonna start with some tricep push-ups. So we're gonna take the hands and form a little triangle. I don't know if you can see that better here. And we're gonna try to let the elbows go wide and the chest lower so the heart is almost trying to match up with that triangle. So find the triangle under your chest, walk your knees back. You can see me a little better here. Walk your knees back. These are gonna be small and the hands are close together, which is hard for the backs of the arms. So it's not gonna be huge. We're gonna reach the heart toward those fingers and push back up. Make sure you're not up here, right? You're nice and down in your plank, lowering and lifting. Good, for 4, for 3, last 2, last one. Now we're gonna turn the fingertips forward, keeping that plank, and we're gonna hug the elbows in like we're trying to rest the ribs on them. And hold, open your heart, lift your belly, get into those triceps for 4, and 3. You don't wanna be way out here, you wanna be tucked in for 2. Last one, great job, release. Gorgeous, we're gonna swivel around. We've got the legs long, the fingers facing the body, a little bit away from you, proud chest. Bend the elbows toward one another as you come back about halfway and then pulse up. Keep your chest proud, your collarbones wide, your elbows reaching toward one another and behind you. Small. And it's not the torso leaning, it's the arms working. You should really feel this in the triceps. Backs at the top of the arm. If it's too easy, walk your hands further away. If it's too hard, walk them in a little more for 3, 2, 1. Grab your weights. You're gonna lower to the mat, knees are bent. We're gonna bring the weights together and hold them together as we bend the elbows like we're trying to tap the weights to the skull and push up. And the whole goal here is to keep those weights touching each other. So the elbows stay reaching for one another. We bend the elbows, but they stay facing the ceiling. For 5, you got this. For 4, for 3, good, for 2, and 1. Now bring the weights together, palm to palm. Tap them on your chest and push straight up. Keep the weights touching again, even though this time they're facing each other. Press and pull. Still firing the backs of those arms. Last 8, 7, 6, you're almost there. 5, 4, 3, keep it low, 2, and release. Beautiful job. Release your weights. Maybe just stretch one arm across the chest and then the other. Gorgeous job. All right, we're getting there, guys. One more working song. We're really going to get into the abdominals. And we're going to play with tempo a little bit. But let's start seated at the top of your mat. I wish I could play music for you guys. You would love this playlist. Okay. So start nice and tall, legs long and in front of you. Now, if it's hard for you to sit up tall without sort of rounding in the spine, bend your knees a little and sit up. We're going to start with spine twists. So let's sweep the arms out and forward, stretching like the palms are stretching taffy. And we'll pull open all to the same side. Now this is all through the ribs. Sweep open and close. Don't let your legs move. Let the ribs wrap around for 3 and 2. Last one, and then we'll switch sides. Lift it open and bring it back. Now the arm can always do more than the ribs. Try not to let it get too far behind you or ahead of the rib work. Last 4. Keep stretching out the arm forward. Don't let it get lazy. 3. Here's.
Stay tuned. This is a special update regarding Medicare coverage. 2/3 of Americans who...
There we go. I just had to mute someone. All right, we're going to roll down to the mat. Keep those legs split. Reach your arms in front of the chest. Tuck your tail. Reach out through the toes. And heels for 3, for 2, and 1. Stand on your feet. Hands come behind the head for ab prep. So we're going to come up and down, keeping the tail down, breathing the ribs together and toward the hips. Now we're going to add a little 4 count in here. So we're going to come up and then pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, lower down. Pulse up and hold for 1, 2, 3. All the work is here. Down. 2 more times. Up. Pulse. 2, 3. Long tail back down. Come up. Last one for 1, 2, 3, 4. Lower down. Tuck that tail under you. Find your strong imprint. Bring your legs up in the air for single leg stretch. Head can be up or down. If you're curling up, curl up now. We stretch right, then left, right, then left. And now we're going to add that 4 count. So it's 1, 2, and faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. 1, 2, 4, slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. Really stretch it on those slow ones. Slow, slow. 2 more like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow. Slow. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. Now reach those legs up to the sky, hands behind the head. Drop the right leg. And switch. And switch. Last one, switch. And switch.
998-6507.
Nice and wide.
The Medicare enrollment deadline is only weeks away.
Okay, there we go. No more interruptions. I've got it figured out. It's perfect time for stretching anyway, so let's do that. All right, I'm gonna be somewhat near the wall. If you have your chair at the back of your mat here so that you can put your legs over it when it's time, that would be great. Okay. So from here, since we're up, let's start up on the knees. So you don't need, let's side bend actually. So place your hand on the seat of your chair. I'm gonna place it on the bar. I'm gonna be nice and tall here as I reach my outside arm up and side bend. Keep long, keep reaching up and over like a rainbow. One more breath here. And your hand might be a little lower than mine, that's okay, but we're gonna turn a little bit and try to soften and round, keeping the hips forward, but turning the torso here. One more breath. And lift up. Beautiful. Step the leg that's closest to the chair forward and come into a little lunge. You might want to come in and out of it a few times. Feel your way into it. And then stay with a lift. Breathe your shoulder around so you feel nice and square in the hips and that you can really open the front of the hip here. One more breath. And lift up. Gorgeous. We're going to bring that knee back underneath us. We're going to take the outside leg long, landing the foot, and then sitting the weight back as evenly as we can. Your hands might come to the floor to stretch out that inner thigh. Even your elbows might come down, but you don't want to compress this knee if that's an issue for you. So take it slow and easy. One more breath. And then lift up. Turn to face that chair. We're going to come into child's pose. Your hands will be on top of the chair. My hands are going to be on the wall. And I'm going to bring my seat back toward my heels as much as I possibly can and push down into the chair so that my shoulders have a little activity, a little strength there. One more big breath here in this position. And then slowly release. We'll turn to the other side. So now your opposite hand is on the seat of your chair. And we're going to lift up for a side bend first. Oh, that feels great. Find the stretch in your torso, not in your shoulder so much. One more breath. And then lift. Step the chair that's closest, the leg that's closest to the chair forward into lunge. Maybe just pulse in and out of it a few times. And then when you land in it, make sure your back knee is happy and sweep your arm around to find that square sense in the shoulders and ribs, and then relax. Lift the spine tall. One more breath here. We'll come up tall and we'll switch legs so the opposite leg will kick out, we'll land the heel, and then we'll sit as evenly possible back in the sitting bones to open up the inner thigh. And you come as low as you have room for, to sensation but not pain. One more breath here, try to relax the knee a little bit. And then gently release. Turn so that you're facing away from your chair and lower yourself down to the mat with care. You're gonna widen your feet a little, so you might wanna put them around the outsides of the legs. Let the heels roll in so the hips are open. Bring the hands to little goalpost arms. Relax your glutes, but elongate your tail as you lift up to a little breaststroke prep, finding the extension in the top of the spine. And if your back feels like it's really asking for full extension, lift your belly a bit as you unravel the rest of the way. And when you come up tall, you should not have lost your neck. So we don't want to be here. We want to push into the hands, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the belly. Stay here for one more breath. Feel the belly lifting away from the mat so that it feels active and your low back gets the stretch. And then bring the elbows right under the shoulders into Sphinx. And this time, if you want to, you can really relax the abs toward the mat, as long as that makes your low back happy, and you can sort of stretch the abdominal wall, which I think always feels nice. One more breath here. Gorgeous. We're gonna reach one arm overhead and roll to the side, and we'll gather the top leg up for a quadricep stretch. It's sometimes helpful to bend the bottom knee too for stability, but then you wanna make sure you're not way up here. Again, draw the inner thighs toward one another. Push the foot into your hand so the knee is below your hip and your hip sort of stretches forward. One more breath. Gorgeous. Gently release. Be careful of your chair. Roll carefully to the other side. Take the top foot in hand again. Find your alignment. Lengthen the muscles of the thigh. One more breath here. Lovely. And then gently release. Beautiful. So we're gonna roll to the back. You guys are gonna put your feet on the front of your chair. I'll use the wall here. And then we'll take the right heel and drape it over the left knee to encourage the right knee to come wide. You can stay with your foot on the chair, or you can breathe the feet away from the chair and even extend the leg. Let's flex both feet though, wherever we are. Stay and breathe, anchor the back of the pelvis and release the back of this thigh. And then gently release and switch. Other side. So set up first. Don't rush to pick up the feet. Sometimes you can have a more effective stretch with the support. But if you want to release the foot away from the wall, go ahead. Flex the feet, breathe into the back of the hip. Gorgeous. One more big breath here. And gently release. All right, we're going to push away from the chair once more. Roll over to the belly once more. We're going to come up onto the hands and knees, bringing the knees nice and wide for frog. So the knees come apart. The toes flip out if you can so that the knee is in alignment with the ankle. And then we're going to bring the weight forward onto the elbows so it doesn't feel too intense in the groin yet. And then you can saw your spine front to back a little until you find where the inner thighs are stretching but not pulling. And just hold. Your back should look nice and flat so your tail doesn't tuck under, it reaches behind you. And then you take deep breaths. Hopefully your knees feel padded enough. You could always double up your mat, or if this isn't your favorite, just come into child's pose. One more breath. And then gently release. So to come out of this, I like to bring my toes together and sit back to child's. From here, you could swivel one more time if you want and use your hands on your chair if you'd like for downward facing dog, or just use the mat or the bar, whatever you're using for downward facing dog, just to stretch those hamstrings a little bit. One more breath. And if forward flexion is right for you, you can round over the legs and maybe just shift the weight forward and back. Watch your head if you're near a chair. Shift that weight forward and back a little bit so that you can find how it feels to land the heels and lift the tail and really release the backs of the thighs, get into those hamstrings. One last breath, and then we'll bring the hands to the thighs, bending the knees, tucking the tail under, and rolling up. So we have found standing. Hallelujah. We're just going to stand and gently swing out the waist. So your feet should have a little space between them. And you're just going to gently swing side to side. This should feel comfortable. It doesn't need to be big. So listen to your spine. You just want to twist the spine one more time here. Gorgeous. And then heels together. Let's take the hands behind the back to clasp them. Open the heart, lift your gaze. And release. Cross them in front of the chest and settle the shoulders and ribs. Inhale, lift your final balance. Exhale, elongate the heels to the mat. And inhale, lift the heart. And you are all done. Bravo. Congratulations. Excellent effort, everybody.